Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yvette and I'd like to welcome you to my channel where I like to create tutorials for junk journal, paper crafting, beadwork, and more. In today's video, I am going to say welcome to my mess. So I think everybody has on their desk a bin or a box or a pile of things that as you're creating, it just kind of becomes a pile of stuff. So I have this pile here. And I have all kinds of things in here. And I thought before I put this pile away into its proper place, I would go ahead and create a few things on camera so you guys can kind of get an idea of how I work and how my creative process works. So I took out the bigger bulky items that were in there. I've got some dyed paper, some avocado dyed paper. I've got some little tea dyed snippets in there somewhere. And then I have this pretty paper pack that I didn't quite know what to do with, but I thought it had some nice little sentiments and stuff that I could use. And a couple other just regular cardstock that was stuck in the back of this bin. So I'm just going to pull from the bin. I have it on the right side of me over here. And I'm going to just use some Fabri-Tac glue. My little bottle looks terrible, I know, but what I do is take a larger bottle and I put it into the smaller bottle so it's easier to work with. And I've pulled some other things here that I know I'm going to want to have close by just so that I can kind of create as I go along. So I pulled out from my stash a couple of these index cards. We're going to use those maybe to make some journal cards. I have a makeup brush that I use to distress. I'm going to pull my ink over here off my table where you can't see the rest of the mess. So I'm just using the walnut stain distressed oxide ink, and I only have about 3 different inks. If you don't have ink, I would suggest investing in at least one. The walnut stain is a good one, or the vintage photograph is another one. It's a little more yellow than this, but kind of gives an aged feel. I've got a pair of scissors, I've got a plier and a needle nose plier and a wire cutter there. I've got, well, I guess you see those. And I've got this ball of cotton, and I pulled also some straight pin things for jewelry making. I don't know what they're called exactly, and some jump rings so that if I want to create anything with those, I can. So other than that, those are kind of the base of what I'm going to use, and then I'm just going to pull things out of this bin and kind of just create, and hopefully I'll remember to talk because usually when I'm creating I'm by myself, so I just kind of go for it. But so let's get started. I'll just start out with a card here. I really don't know where we're going to go with this. It's just kind of, I'm just kind of doing it on the fly here, and it's a little scary, but you know, I'll do it. So I'm just going to go around the edge. I kind of like to distress everything as I go along, just to give it that little bit of worn feel. So I don't normally, someone did ask me if I normally craft on this little doily that I have here, a little crocheted piece, and I don't, but for camera purposes, I have a black desk down here, and the light shines on it, as you can see, so I didn't want to put that out there for you guys to have to deal with. So anyway, that's why I have that on there. I'm not some kind of fancy crafter. So I'm just going to go around the edge here, just kind of distress as we go. I'll let you listen to that for a minute because I know y'all love that sound. Okay, so we've got that one started. Always remember to put your cap back on to your ink or it dries out a little bit. That's not good. So to get started, I'm just going to kind of collage this up a little bit. I think I'm going to start with maybe an image from that paper pack that I had. So I'm just going to pull that out here real quick. I probably should have pulled a couple of these out to begin with, but I didn't want to be too organized, and I don't know. I just wanted to kind of work as I go. So let me pull this paper out. This might be a little bit loud. I apologize if it is. So let's go ahead and get that paper out. So here's this one, and I think I'm going to pull the one behind it. It's got a couple tags on it. Pull that one out. and maybe a base paper so that we have something to work off of there. Oh wow, this is really pretty packed. Maybe I should have looked at this a little more before I started. This is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to pull out this one here. It's got a little teal on there, and then I think I'm just going to work with this other paper that I have. Sorry about the noise there if it's loud. Okay, so we got our papers pulled there. I'm just going to, what I kind of like to do with the index card is make it so that it's the journal part. And so we're going to decorate this side of it. And I think I'm just going to start with maybe a piece of paper here. Let me grab, I'm just going to cut a piece out that I can work with kind of on camera here. Like I said, I was not too prepared for this, so if you tear toward you, you'll see that you get this reveal, and depending on the kind of paper that you have, that reveal will be very noticeable or not, depending on, number one, the color in the paper, and number two, the quality of the paper. So if you tear it the other way, let me just show you. So tearing toward you gives you the reveal. Tearing away from you makes it so the reveal's on the back. Or you can just turn it over and do it this way, and then you don't have that on the front. But I kind of like to have the reveal and then ink it up so that you got a little bit of fun, I guess. So I just kind of do that. We're just going to kind of mess around a little bit with where we're going to place this. And we're just going to ink this up a little bit. No right or wrong way. So when we're making things, you just do you, right? Do what you do. All right, so we'll get that going a little bit. If you want it a little darker, obviously you can just put a little bit more on there and kind of do that. If you want to give the background, so see how this background's a little bit white, you can just I just kind of go like this and swirl a little bit of the color on there. It doesn't have to be too much, but that's fun. All right. And let's grab our glue here. We'll go ahead and stick that down. I always try to have a full bottle of glue because I watched some other videos and they run out of glue a lot. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. So I always kind of make sure I have a full bottle before I start so that I'm not, you know, having to fill my glue bottle on camera here. You don't need to see that. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and I think we'll just put that there. And let's see what else I have in here. I have some lace. I'm going to grab this piece here. So there's several different things you can do with lace. Obviously, we can just put it on. We can hang it off so it hangs off the bottom. I think what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I think I'm just going to cut one of these off. And if you haven't done this before, it's kind of scary. I remember the first time I actually cut into a doily, I was like feeling terrible about it because I do crochet. This is not handmade, but if you have to cut into a handmade item that first time, it's a little scary because especially if you make those things, you know what goes into them and the time and effort that the person put into it. So sometimes it's a little hard, but you just got to get over yourself sometimes. All right, so let's go ahead and I guess I should do this on camera. I'm just having too much fun. I just kind of go around and the fabric tack glue will hold this down. I just kind of tack around. You guys know I'm glue happy, so we're going to go ahead and I think what I'm going to do is stick this right on here like this. Okay, and then I saw in one of those pages I tore out, there were these cute little words, so I was like, hey, we could do that. So I kind of like this Dream Big one here. I'm just going to cut this out. Okay. And I don't know what kind of paper pack this is from. It was given to me by a friend. And I love that. So I'm just going to go around, and this has kind of a wobbly little thing on here. I don't like things to be straight, so if it has that kind of, you know, it looks like a watercolor. So I'm just going to cut around to that shape. I don't really like to cut things out square sometimes, or rectangle. But I just kind of follow the shape that's on there and gives it a little bit more definition. So see, I was thinking maybe putting this up here needs a little something behind it, I think. So I've got some lace here. I'm going to pull that out. So I'm sure there's a rule out there somewhere in the junk journal land that you don't mix, I've heard this anyway, that you don't mix white lace with vintage cream colored lace, but I do what I like. So that's what I encourage you to do. There aren't any rules. If there's rules to junk journaling, then I'm in trouble because I'm not following them. All right, so we're just gonna kind of smush that in there and just chop it off on the edge. Okay, and I think I like that on there. I'm going to distress this a little bit on the edge. And sometimes distressing doesn't show up too much on the actual piece, but when you put it down next to this lighter colored background, it's going to help that kind of pop out there a little bit. So I do like that. Needs a little something something else. So let me see what else I have in here. Oh, look. I have these stamps. Let's see if I have one that kind of goes with my color theme. And they're all kind of men. I mean, nothing against men, but this is kind of a girly tag here. Oh, he kind of goes. So maybe put him on there. Put them back in this bag. Let's see what else I have. I have a little ticket here I'm going to dig for. I'm not sure. If I get it out and it's not right, I'm going to be upset. Just kidding. So maybe we can put this ticket here. And let's see. Okay. And looking here what else I have. I like that. That's a cute little birdie stamp. I got this little flower stamp, or bird stamp that I use quite a lot. And let's see. Oh, I got this little piece of lace here. Maybe I'll put that on there. Ooh, that's kind of fun too. Okay, I'm getting obsessed. All right, let's cut off a couple of these. So I have this little pom-pom thing. That's kind of cute. I don't know if it'll work on here, but we can certainly give it a try. Maybe just one. That's kind of cute. All right, let's put it on there. No right, no wrong. Do whatever. I have troubles sometimes with fabric. Fabric and I are not friends. So you'll see that a lot if you watch my video. Anytime there's fabric, it's going to give me trouble. All right, so I like how that's kind of looking there. Let's go ahead and put this stamp on. Now I got fuzzy on my finger. I still have fuzzy on my finger. Alright, let's put this stamp, I'm thinking maybe like right here. Okay. And let's see. How about a button? I like a button. I have this little bin over here of buttons, and I pulled some eyelets in case I want to put a hole in something. At this point I don't want to put a hole in something, but I do want to put this Dream Big down. Haven't secured that yet. Let's go ahead and glue that up and put that on there. Alright, go ahead and put some glue on our button. I'm going to place that here. So I'm kind of liking how that's coming together. Okay, and then something I like to do with some of the space. I think I pulled these stamps out, but I don't know that there's enough room there for a stamp. I could probably put a little bird in there. Might be kind of cute. Let's put a little bird in here. I'm going to put this under it because I'm usually working on my table, so I have a little harder surface to work with. And I don't remember what shop this came from, but it is on Etsy, so I'll go ahead and link that shop in my description box so you guys know where I got my stamp. We'll put a couple little birdies around. They have to have friends. Okay. Now, I do like to doodle, so I'm going to find a marker here that's got some brown. So we got a lot of pink going on, so I don't want to add too much more pink. And I just kind of scribble scrabble, I call it, around the edge. So just to give it a little detail, a little definition, a little interest, just here and there. Something else you can do is kind of put some faux stitches on there. And I like to do that occasionally, so we'll just come in with this very light pink color and make some stitches in here. Okay. And another thing we can do is we can actually, and I'm going to do this live on camera, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know. So I do like to do hand stitching on my cards from time to time. So I just have this ball of cotton thread. Of course, I'm not going to be able to thread my needle. But I picked this up at a secondhand store, and I really like it. I like how it works out. So I'm chatting while I thread the needle. Anyway, I picked this whole ball of thread up, and it's lasted me quite a while. And I use it to sew in signatures, but I also use it because it's a little thinner. I have to double it up when I do it for a signature. So what I've come to use it for is to hand stitch around my cards or ephemera. So what I do is start in a corner. So because I have this over here and we want to have a little bit of balance to it, and we have this going on up here, I'm going to start in the corner because that's then going to be where I end. So I just literally, I don't poke holes in it before I start, and I usually come from the back to the front because it does leave a little bit of a, where it pokes through. I don't want that on the back where you're going to write, so it leaves a little bump up of the paper there, and I just kind of eyeball it. There's no rhyme or reason to this, so we're going to just go around. And I hadn't planned on doing this on camera, but I think this card needs it, so I'm doing it. So we might not get a whole lot done today, but we'll have fun. So I don't know if you guys have tried hand stitching. I have a sewing machine, but I'm not brave enough to use it yet. Like I said, fabric and I do not have a very close relationship, so I do have learning curve there, and so it'll be a while before you see me sew on camera, I think. Yeah, plus it's kind of loud on camera, so I'd have to figure something else out for my audio. But I'm simple girl, simple things, right? So on the corner here, I just let it do what it's going to do. So like I said, I don't measure anything. I don't poke holes in there. See, it wants to flip over, and I might just let it. Yeah, I'm going to let it. So just go around. And it might be easier, I don't know, to poke the holes, but I just find this, I don't know, I just like doing it this way. So maybe in the comments, let me know if you guys have done any hand stitching and how you guys do it. Because I just do what I do. Okay. So in addition to my tutorials, I'm going to start a new thing where I'm going to make a journal, but I'm going to make it in stages, and then I'll also upload videos, you know, just making ephemera and stuff, but it'll be a series of videos that are separate from my ephemera videos, and it's just going to show how I make a journal from, I'm going to call it cover to cover, and just show you how I sew the signatures in, how I decorate it, kind of my thought process. A lot of people have messaged me and asked me to share videos on my thought process and my creative process. And so after I kind of thought about what that was and how I would share that, I just really think that when you're creating, it should just be spur of the moment. I don't really plan anything out beyond sort of a theme, and my theme is based on color. So a little bit of background on me. I used to work in the paint industry, and I still do. My full-time job outside of my crafting is I work for a painting contractor, and I'm the office manager and a color consultant. And that comes from a background of about 28 years of working in the paint sales industry. So that's kind of where I come from. I've always, ever since I was little, I've had this natural color thing where I just inherently knew what is right and wrong in regard to color, what goes together well, why something isn't going together well. So I usually choose color as part of my theme, and so I'll have a base color, and then, or a base, you know, my main color, and then I have two secondary colors is usually how I create, just because you know, odd numbers are more interesting in art, and if you're, you know, picking colors that go together or are opposite of one another, you get these very good results. So maybe I'll do a video on color as well. So if you guys are interested in that, please comment, because I really would like to have interaction on my channel so that I can kind of know what you guys are looking for future videos and things like that. I don't want to just come up with my ideas, but maybe if you guys have an idea, you could share it with me, or you know, hey, how do you do this, or how do you think about that, or, you know, I don't know. You guys just comment, and then I'll know where to go from there. But it's just helpful on tutorials to know what people are looking for. So, and I kind of try to, you know, you want to have a balance between experienced journalists and also people who are new to making journals. And so I try to make my videos so that they're appealing to both people. So hopefully that's what I'm accomplishing. And I'm almost done here, so I'll stop talking about that, but I'm always here to answer any questions you guys have about anything that I'm doing on my channel. So Here we are. And I just take this, bring it around, and I just tie it in a knot or a bow or whatever I seem appropriate. Because I have a bow over there on the other side, I'm just going to tie a double knot here. And I always like to leave my strings hanging because number one, what do you do with them, right? And number two, it just looks awesome that way. So there's our journal card on the back here. The stitching gives it a border, but I do like to give it a little something something. So a lot of times I'll just come in and make these little vines. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you'll know I am not a person who draws, but I doodle. Doodling is doable. Drawing is not. So my husband is very gifted with drawing. He can take a napkin and draw a house plan or something, and no. Pictionary, if I have an animal, you just start guessing because they all look the same. All right, there we are with our completed journal card. I think it turned out really cute. Let me know if you guys thought it was fun to do that way. Another thing I'm going to do, I think, while I'm sitting here looking in my box, I have these safety pins. This one has the curly Q on the end. Some of them don't, but I couldn't find any like that, and I had these, so that's what I'm going to use. So I think we're just going to take this piece of paper here. I'm going to tear it so that all the edges are torn. And we're going to distress this a little bit. So I don't want this video to be too long here, so this is probably the only other thing I'm going to make out of the pile, but I'm not going to quote myself on that yet. So let's see if that's too wide. Let's go a little live people. All right. So I don't edit my videos. Probably you could tell that, but anyway, it is what it is here, and we'll just go with it. So I'm thinking maybe something like this, and I'm still a little bit wide. Oh well, this is how we learn, right? Okay, so I like that. And I don't like things really squared off, so I tend to do things on an angle. You'll notice that, or, you know, I don't know. It's just something about straight things. Straight lines I don't do very well. So I grabbed this little piece of lace here, and what I was thinking was maybe under here, just seeing how that's gonna play out. Yeah, I'm not liking that. Maybe just one. Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of run a bead of glue down here. And I'm going to stick this on there. Now, I do want a straight on that. We're going to stick this on here. Sort of run it out the bottom there like this. And I'm not really liking this stripe in this particular situation. So I think what I'm going to do is grab another one of those little sentiments and put that on there. So let me grab that. Okay, so lesson for next time is to cut these out before I start, right? Because that way I'm not having to search for them. Okay. So that's like that. And I think we'll do this one right here. Well, maybe, yeah. So I do this one and just cut this out. It's not a sentiment, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. Because as I'm cutting it out, I got an idea. again, this is just me being me. All right. Cut that out along that natural line that's on there. Okay, so what I'm thinking is have this, because this is going to be up here like this, right? So I'm going to attach that for a moment just so I can see what it looks like. Okay, and then I think I'm going to put this, maybe, no, I don't want to do that because it covers up. Maybe like that. I like that. Okay. Another thing we could do is tear this little piece off like this and stick it inside there under here like this, so that we're not seeing this because we're going to cover this up. See what I mean? Like that. Okay, I like that. So let's glue this down now. And I just glue, glue, glue. Okay. And if you go. Okay, well, my camera or my phone cut out on me, so I have completed this paper clip all off camera. I thought I was chatting away, crafting away, and realized I no longer was on video. So I guess I'll just do an overview. So what I did was added this card, put a little bit of hand stitching on there, put the little sentiment be positive, and then I always like to do the back of my things a little bit, just so that if this were to be used, you could use it this way or you could use it this way, either one. Or I don't know. I just like the back of things to look as nice as the front. It's just how I am. So if it's going to be glued down, I'm not going to do the back of it. This probably will never be seen on the back, but when it's off of there, it will be seen. And so I just kind of like to do it that way. So the idea of this is you would have a little fabric flip inside your journal and you would just attach this to it and it would hang on there. You could actually just run this right through the page. And then if I do that, I usually put a piece of paper or fabric or lace underneath where I'm going to attach this to the page, just so that it doesn't tear the paper as much. Anyway, I think that's really cute. So there's our journal card completed and the back of that, and then I made this little paper I don't know what it's called. It's a paper hangy thing on a safety pin. Anyway, I am going to stop this video because I now have to figure out how to link these two together, hopefully. Or if not, you'll never see this and I would have started over and you'll never know that this happened. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I hope to see you on my next video, where I hope to start my series on cover to cover making a journal. Thank you for joining me and have a great day.